In Chapter 3, we will be talking about data description. These are the 4 important sections that we will be reviewing within this chapter. These are our objectives. What we're going to talk about today is central tendency. Specifically today, we are going to be talking about the average. The average would include mean, median, and your mode. When we get into variation, this is talking about how much your data is spread out. So that would entail the range, the variance, and the standard deviation. And then position is exactly where your location is compared to everyone else. Now, when we talk about a statistic, this is a characteristic or measure obtained from using a sample. When we look at the parameter, that's whenever we are obtaining this data from a population. Okay, when we talk about average, average can mean any one of the following here. It could mean the mean, median, mode, the mid-range, as well as the weighted mean. What we're going to talk about today is these 4. All right, the very first measure of central tendency we'll talk about is the mean. When we talk about the mean, the way we represent the mean for a sample is an X with a bar over it, and literally we call this X bar. And all this is suggesting here is that we're taking each one of our data values, we're adding them together depending on how many data values you have, and we're dividing by our number of data values. So you want N to represent your number of data values. Another way that we represent that is by using the summation of X, all divided by N. And again, that's just you're adding up all of your data values. If we're talking about a population, that's when we use the Greek letter mu. So it's important that you can distinguish between both types of mean. Whenever you're reading some kind of study, it would indicate whether it is for a sample or for a population. And again, this is just showing the same thing. We're taking all of our data values, we're adding them together, and dividing by the number of data values. Okay, for example, if we have to find the mean for this problem right here, this is the number of days off for individuals selected from 9 different countries. So all we would do is we would add each one of our data values, and again, divide by the number of data values we have, which in this case is 9. Once you add them all together, divide by 9, our answer is 30.7. So we could say that the mean number of days off within these 9 countries is 30.7. Since this is sampled from 9 different countries, notice we're using X bar. Okay, when we have group data, we can actually still find the mean. We are still going to use X bar to find the mean. This is again for a sample. We're going to use the summation, and we want the summation of our frequencies. So F is our frequencies. Again, that big E, that's our summation. And then this X, this is our midpoint for each one of our class limits. And then N is still going to be our number of data values. For instance, if I wanted to find the mean given this group data, again, I would use the same formula. Okay, the very first thing I would want to do is find the midpoint. So I'm going to find the midpoint for each one of my classes. Again, we're going to add 5.5 to 10.5, divide by 2, that would give us 8. Add 10.5 to 15.5, that would give us 13 when we divide that by 2. And we would do that for each one of the following classes. And again, that is giving us our midpoint. This is still our frequencies as we use it here. That's F. Now notice that I have to multiply our two columns. So I'm going to multiply each one of these, and that is going to give me the following answers. Okay, so I just performed this operation. Now I need to find the sum of this column. The sum would be 490. All right, so I just did everything here in my numerator. So I have 490. I'm going to divide that by my frequencies. This is my number of data values. That's given right here. So my answer is 24.5. In order to find the median, we know that the median is going to be one of the data values if you have an odd number of values. It is going to be the data value directly in the middle. We label that by using the symbol MD. If you recall, for mean, it was X bar or mu. For median, it's just MD. The median is going to be the average of the two data values in the middle if you have an even number. The most important thing you can remember about the median is that you need to order all of your data before you go and find the one in the middle. So for example, if we're given a number of hotel rooms in downtown Pittsburgh, they want you to find the median. Again, we have to put this in order. We're going to put it in order from smallest to largest. And in this case, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 data values. So we know that it is going to be one of the data values. So the median is 401. Now, if you look at finding the median when we have an even number of values, this is an even number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, we have to order it, and then we look at the two middle values, and we have to find the average of them. Or in other words, we're going to add them together and divide by 2. So in this case, the median is 810. When we go and find the mode, this is the data value that occurs the most. It is quite possible that we have no mode. We can have one mode, and they call that unimodal. We can have two modes. They call that bimodal. Or we can have many modes. That's, of course, multimodal. So, for example, if we have all of these data values here, and they want you to find the mode. For this one, yeah, you can put it in order first. You can use that sort button on the TI-83. This one's actually pretty easy to see that 10 is going to be your mode. However, when you're given a bunch of different numbers, you probably want to use that TI-83 and use that sort option. Again, if you go to the catalog, that's going to be pretty easy for you to find that function. Okay, in this case, yeah, you can go ahead and put these in order if you would like, but as you can see that there's not a value that occurs more than once, so therefore there's no mode. Okay, in this problem, this might be one of those ones where you do want to go back and put this in your TI-83. But if I'm just going to do this by hand, I would count the number of 104s that I do have. Looks like I only have 5 104s, and I'll use a different color to circle the 109s. These appear to be the ones that occur the most. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't have anything else that occurs more than 5 times. The ones that do occur the most would be 104 and 109, and therefore this is considered bimodal. Okay, when we talk about the modal class, this is relatively easy. Just as mode is the thing that occurs the most, the modal class is the one that also occurs the most, so this is where you have the most frequencies. So in this case, 20.5 to 25.5, that is going to be our modal class because it has the highest number of frequencies. When we go to find the mid-range, the mid-range means we are taking the lowest value and adding to it the highest value, and we are dividing by 2. It's really that simple. For example, if we want to find the mid-range of the following 6 numbers, again, we're going to take our smallest number, add to it our largest number. Of course, that is 9 divided by 2. Our answer is 4.5.